morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Want to talk a little bit about yesterday's game, some implications there in regards to fantasy football impact of some major players, including the wide receiver ones on both teams, including Keon Coleman and Tyreek Hill, who had terrible, terrible games. And I mean, big time busts. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tua situation. Should he retire? That's something I really want to cover here today. Really, really bad hit yesterday. We're going to talk about that. And also, basically Josh Allen and kind of what's going on with him. Didn't have the greatest game at all yesterday. And of course, some fantasy football news and notes. And of course, the Tyreek situation that's been lingering here. Got a little political. I want to give you guys my 2 cents on that as well. So quite a bit to cover here in this video. I want to keep it light here on Friday, but there is a lot of fantasy implications from yesterday's game, guys, that we need to cover going into the rest of the season here. Very, very important here. Again, the main topic here of discussion is Tua and if he should continue playing, because after that hit, man, I don't know. It looked rough. So we're gonna cover all that. So if you are new to the channel, guys, make sure you guys do hit the thumbs up, smash it, tap it, slap it, guys. Hit the thumbs up and drop a comment below. We want to make this ultra interactive. Should Tua retire? Okay, guys, this was his third documented concussion. This is, and these aren't just light hits. So I want to get that interaction below. If you are in the car, head on over to YouTube as well and drop a comment. I want to see that you're here. Say that you came over from Spotify or Apple, whatever. And I want to see you guys in the comments. So smash it, tap it, slap it, hit that thumbs up. Now, also, I want to do an announcement here. I will be doing some something new, something fun. If you guys want to be the first to get in, DM me at Fantasy Football Counselor on IG. DM me the word bet. I'm going to be creating a course on sports bets. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys my picks of the week. I'm going to do some thorough researching and give you guys my picks. I got some really, really good data, really, really good analysis here to make sure you guys win on your bets. So DM me the word bet. It's going to be huge, guys. It's going to be huge, right? So getting into the sports bets, I think that's something that's really, really popular. We could do through the season, make some coin at it. So DM me the word bet on Instagram. It's going to be a huge thing. So I want to make that quick announcement. Okay, guys? All right, smash thumbs up. Drop a comment below, too. Should he retire? Let's dive into the show. So yesterday's game, Buffalo had their way with the Dolphins. Now, again, since we're talking about bets, I did a lot of research on this. I knew, Buffalo would win this game. And again, I want to deliver that to you guys, that type of information after I receive it so we can make some coin here. But Josh Allen does well against them. I mean, 12-2 versus Miami in his career, 7-0 on Thursdays. This is huge for Josh Allen. So going into that game, we knew the odds were in his favor, but not a really good fantasy game overall for Josh Allen and his receivers for that matter. It looked like the wide receiver one just for this game was Khalil Shakir. But I want to go on record and tell you that Keon Coleman, without a reasonable doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that he is the true wide receiver one. He has top 10 fantasy football upside. Now, some people are saying, Joe, you're crazy. Why don't you admit you're wrong? I don't admit I'm wrong because he was actually blanketed the entire game by Jalen Ramsey. If you watch that game, and Josh Allen just wasn't looking that way. He wasn't looking that way because he knew that, he's a rookie, he's young, and Ramsey was on him. It was just so weird. It was so frustrating being a Keon Coleman owner. I didn't think Keon would have a good game, but to have one target for 0 receptions is absolutely ludicrous. Now, some people are saying, well, Joe, how could you tell me to do that? Everybody told you to draft Tyreek Hill, right? He was a top 3, top 4 pick. Guess how many points he finished with? Very similar to Keon. Only 6 points in PPR. Tyreek Hill, what do you have here? Tyreek Hill, 6.6 points, 6 targets, 3 receptions for your precious first overall pick, right? Top 3, top 4 pick. Now, Tyreek Hill was a first-round pick. Keon was a 9th-round pick. Both wide receiver ones on their team. So again, a lot of people getting upset about Keon Coleman. I'm telling you, man, that's okay. It was one game. And now I want to talk about this. Tua, right? If for some reason Skylar Thompson is the quarterback for the rest of the year, they got to find a solution. I don't think Skylar Thompson is it. If you guys don't know who he is, 2022 draft pick, 7th-round pick in 2022. 3 seasons for Skylar Thompson. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. Yesterday, 8 for 14 for 80 yards. This is not a solution. And if Tua is out for an extended period of time, as he should be to rest, it's not going to help Tyreek Hill. So there's your first round pick gone, along with Christian McCaffrey, who I warned you to stay away from. He's going to miss extended time by the looks of it as well. I told you to avoid these guys, okay? So when I take my risks and I go for those grand slams, I'm aiming in the later rounds to get them. So if Keon doesn't pan out, I got other wide receivers. I take the donut this week, but I'm starting him next week. He is the wide receiver one on this team. I'm in on Keon Coleman. Going back to Tyreek Hill, though, okay? He came into this week with a lot of drama from last week, right? The whole getting pulled over. My opinion on that, I did a post on it. That was before the body cam footage was released. I got really political pretty fast. Now, my intention was not to make the post political. I have my opinion on this. My initial thought was, maybe big time ego, stuff like that, which confirmed to be true. It was his ego when he got pulled over, but you got to take a look at the cops' behavior as well. They were a little excessive, right? I'm gonna keep it short on that whole incident, right? With the whole Tyreek getting pulled over and the cops. The media blew it out to be this big thing, right? Let's make it the race car. Let's do that. I think, in summary, both sides were wrong. Tyreek Hill didn't comply. Cops were a little bit excessive, right? It's very simple though. But if Tyreek Hill had simply just complied, I don't think the other part would happen. I don't think the cops would have been as aggressive. He rolled the window down. Yes, officer, can I help you, officer? It wasn't like that. It was like, don't tap on my window, rolling the window up. And you got to realize, I was talking to cops and people in the industry, if your window is rolled up and it's pitch black, you can't see in there, you got to be concerned at what the person's carrying inside the vehicle and if the cop's life is in danger. So I kind of understand where the cops are coming from, but I also understand that they were a little excessive, grabbing him, pulling him out of the car. So I don't think there's any rights to this at all. I don't think anybody was really in the right. So I'm going to stand in the middle on that and say I think both parties. There's no angels in the situation. So I wanted to just kind of highlight that real quickly, but then also go back to the actual game yesterday with Tua. Again, third documented concussion, and this is not good. And it was hit by Hamlin, by the way. Damar Hamlin was the one that actually hit him, ironically. Crazy, because we know what he went through, right? So you look at this hit, and it looked bad, man. I mean, there's definitely some brain injury there when his body and his legs start curling up and his body gets, straightened out like that. Definitely some trauma to the brain, definitely concussion. The brain gets jarred in there, hits the inside, like it hits the inside of the skull, you get a concussion, right? It's not good. And this has happened multiple times to Tua. So a guy that got, I think, overpaid, I think the Dolphins overpaid this guy knowing that this has happened before. The risk is very possible again. He has not been an outstanding quarterback in general. He's a good quarterback. He's viable in a world, in a league where good quarterbacks are hard to find. Tua was pretty solid overall. Now, again, yesterday, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I think he had like 5 fantasy points or something like that. It wasn't good for him at all. Let me just pull it up here exactly before he went out. 5.5 fantasy points. He had a 56.7 passer rating before he got concussed out of that game. So I think the main thing here is, and again, you hear a lot of players talking about it, is his health and safety. Is he going to continue? I want you guys to drop in the comments. I personally think at this point you should really reevaluate his career in the NFL because, again, these weren't just light hits. These were catastrophic hits that could really, really hurt you. So again, for his safety and the safety of, his family, like he's got a family. I don't know his whole personal life, but the people around him that care about him, they want to see him healthy, right? We've seen this with like MMA fighters who become punchy years after or just are never the same because of too many hits to the head. It's bad. It's really, really bad. And I would think that even if he does decide to play, that he should take an extensive amount of time to let this heal. You really want to get that head to heal after a traumatic hit like that. Now, again, how does that impact Tyreek Hill? It's not good, man. I mean, if you're catching balls from Skylar Thompson, we got problems here. Again, you could say, well, Joe, the same thing with, Jefferson in week 1, he's catching balls from Sam Darnold, and he did good. Volume is king. Very possible. Very possible they force feed Tyreek Hill, but it's still not Tua. You know what I mean? They don't have that connection. It's going to be different. It's going to be questionable. And you got to ask yourself, if Skylar Thompson was the quarterback going into the season, would Tyreek Hill be a first overall pick or a first round pick, top 5 pick? And the clear answer to that would be no for me. but they can just do crazy stuff. I mean, they tell you to draft Jefferson round 1 or CMC copy paste, right? Like, either way, I think they'd still probably draft him. I personally didn't draft him even with Tua starting, and it's not going to get much better with Skylar Thompson. They got to find a solution depending on what's going on with Tua. So still a lot to uncover here, but I'm assuming Tua's definitely missing a few weeks at minimum for everybody's sake, okay? So again, Josh Allen crushing it. Like I said, 7-0 Thursday nights against Dolphins, 12-2 record. I think he was on his 4th consecutive win with them. Again, very disappointing when we look at Josh Allen last week from a passing perspective as well. A very safe game. I think he had like 11 points. No, 9.8 points, right? Very bad. 13 for 19, 1 touchdown passing. Only 0 rushing touchdowns. Still 107.1 passer rating. The running backs did really well on both sides of the ball. What's really outstanding here is that James Cook had 2 rushing touchdowns. I think the past 2 seasons, let me just pull this up here. 2 rushing touchdowns in 2022, 2 rushing touchdowns in 2023, and 2 rushing touchdowns in 1 game in week 2. There's a lot of 2s here. 2 and 20, 2 and 22, 2 and 23 overall, just overall rushing. 2 games in week 2. 2 touchdowns in week 2. I'm losing track. The guy's got 6 rushing touchdowns in his entire career in 3 seasons, and 2 of them came last night. It's really I feel just a lucky game. Sometimes, guys, people have big games. Like a good example is Xavier Worthy. Good game week 1. Is that going to continue? I don't think so. I don't think the volume is going to be there. And I think, again, Josh Allen's going to throw more. It was just a weird, fluky week. It was an absolute bust for fantasy football. Very, very disappointing. Again, both wide receiver ones, Keon Coleman and Tyreek Hill, both not doing well. And again, that's your 1st round pick versus my 9th round pick. I'll take it. Again, it's an excuse. I get you say it's an excuse, but Keon Coleman is going to eat this year, blanketed by Ramsey. Very, very disappointing. So again, I just want to talk about a bunch of things there, some topics I've been, on my mind here that I really wanted to cover. But I think Tyreek Hill fantasy value is absolute jeopardy. Tua, obviously, I have no fantasy stock in him. Obviously, it's going to ripple down to Waddle. It might help the running backs. More handoffs possibly for Atchain if he stays healthy. He walked in with a sprained injury. I think it was sprained leg, sprained ankle, whatever, going into this game. Still played, so I give him props there. I don't know when Mostert's going to come back, right? Jaden Wright got some work. And then James Cook getting a lot of that work there. Looking good. He's looking good this year. I thought he'd be a bust. Again, it's still very early in the season. We have to see. I think Keon Coleman's going to get a lot more work. I got a lot of people went into the season saying Curtis Samuel's the one. Absolutely not. I've got videos and documentation of a lot of analysts saying Curtis Samuel's the one. He's not. It's Keon Coleman, guys. I'm telling you guys right now, tons of freed up targets from last year. It's going to be a massive year for Keon this year. Top 10 upside in fantasy football, just 1 bad week. And I'm going to go ahead and start him again next week. I'm riding him. He's my ride and die this year. I'm just rolling out Keon Coleman, okay? Make sure you guys smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up, guys. Very, very important. I hope you guys have an outstanding weekend. And again, DM me the word bet at Fantasy Football Counselor DM, and I'm gonna limit to 100 people to get into this course. I'm gonna be revealing my optimal picks every single week against the spread. And the money lines can be awesome. All right, guys, smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk soon, guys.